Hello and welcome to Always Right. Today I'm joined by the new podcast veteran, Genna.
Hi guys, nice
What's
to be
up?
back.
How are you?
Yeah. Just living life in ISO, just doing
Yep,
what everyone else is doing, which is nothing. How about you?
very much the same. Every time I speak to someone on my podcast, I'm like, how are you? What have you been doing? And they're like, nothing.
Mm,
Probably the
not
same as
much.
you, like literally nothing. And I'm like,
Exactly. We're all just living the same life right now.
we are. And it kind of is, I'm over it.
Yeah. What
I've
are you what are
been
your
over it.
thoughts? Yeah. What are your thoughts on staying potentially, because none of us know, Um, and I don't know about the leaked stuff and everything,
Mm.
because apparently it was false anyway. But what are your thoughts on if we do stay locked down for longer in stage four?
Well, I don't really know if like stage four is necessary because obviously it's going to go to stage three after. So I just feel like just do that now. But it's
Okay.
hard because like stage four is like it's necessary. It's like what we have to
Exactly.
do. But
Yeah.
some people don't see that. They don't care about that. So it's like,
No.
even if they extend it, I don't think that I mean, obviously, people with a brain will abide by that, and that will help the cases go
Mhm.
down. But I think if you are ignorant and you don't care about the health and safety of everyone else, then I don't think that like the lockdown's going to stop you from doing whatever you want.
Yeah. I think you're spot on with that.
Yeah.
Um, to me, it's just so like I was having this conversation with my mum yesterday, and
Yeah.
she's like, how different would things be if it wasn't the elderly that were dying, but it was young kids, children, teenagers? It would be completely different.
It would.
And I'm so sick of hearing the argument that it's just old people dying. Like, I'm that far over it.
I
It's
know. So am I.
sick of treating them like just disposable citizens. I know we had this conversation last time on the podcast,
Yes, we did,
but
I remember. But yeah,
I,
I hate
I've
that too.
I've had to mute people on my Facebook pages because I'm just over it.
I
I
yeah, I've done the same on Instagram. I've unfollowed people. I'm like,
Yeah,
I can't deal with it.
yeah, and I understand that because of stage four, like the economy is going to shit. I understand that,
We're
and
in
I
a
understand.
recession, yes.
Yes, I understand. That's a good way of putting it. I understand the mental health argument, and
Mm,
small businesses done, and
yeah.
but it's really finding that balance. Like, how do you find a balance between either saving the economy to some extent, or sacrificing people's lives?
I know. It's difficult, but well, it's like, the age-old philosophical problem, like, do the ends justify the means? It's
Yeah.
like, obviously, I don't know. I just think that, like, for the sake of humanity,
Mm,
like everyone on the planet, we have to do this.
absolutely.
But it just annoys me because I just think, like, I think all of this would have ended in like the first few months if people just like stayed inside and did what they were meant to do.
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%.
And it kind of like not makes me laugh in the sense that like this whole thing is funny, but it makes me laugh
Mm.
because I think like when like the Spanish flu or all these other things happened, I'm just trying to imagine people being like, well, this goes against my civil liberties, so I don't care if people are dying. I'm going to go out. And I'm like, I feel like people didn't do that.
No,
I feel like
no.
we in this generation are entitled,
Oh, 100% entitled.
which
Yeah.
is horrible. And like in
Oh,
my, what were you going to say?
no, 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 I wasn't. You can continue.
In my philosophy course that I did, there was a whole section on like collectivism versus individualism. And it's like in like Western society, like Australia, America,
Yeah.
England or whatever, you're really taught and encouraged to be an individual. Whereas in some other places like Russia, China, it's about the collective. Like
Yeah.
you're like individually, you don't matter as much as the collective. And in
Yeah.
like our society, the individual perhaps matters more, or we feel that the individual should matter more.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
these people, this philosopher was saying, well, you can't have one without the other. Like the collective has to matter and the individual also has to matter. And it's
Yeah.
a hard thing to reconcile, I guess.
Yeah. I really feel for, like, I know so many people are against him. And yes, of course, he has made mistakes, but my heart like really hurts for Daniel Andrews and his
Same.
family, because at the end of the day, he is not the sole person responsible for every decision that he's made. There is a
No.
team behind him who are recommending certain things and everything. He's not, like, it's just because he's the face of it, and he
Yeah.
has to at the end of the day make the decisions and be in front of the TV during press conferences, that everyone's just taking it out on him. And I really feel for him, and I feel for his mental health as well during this time.
Same.
Because
If everything you just said was a tweet, I would retweet it.
thank you. I'm so
No, but
honored.
I agree. It's just like these dictator Dan. I'm like, you do not know what a dictator is if you think Daniel Andrews is a dictator. Like,
Exactly
what?
right. Exactly right. Yeah.
It's like, if you think that we're living in like a communist state, go to
Yeah.
Russia, go to
Go
China. This is
100%.
not like,
100%.
it's just bizarre.
Yeah. The mentality that our rights have just been taken from us for no reason whatsoever, it's absurd.
It is absurd. And also, logically, makes no sense. Daniel
Exactly.
Andrews doesn't want the economy to fail. He doesn't
Yeah.
want people to be losing their business and for people
Of
to like
course
struggle
not.
with their mental health. He doesn't want that, but it's what has to be done.
It's what has to be done. Exactly. And people, just, no matter how many times you push this message, there will always be a group of people who just don't understand that.
Always.
And you can't get through to them. You can't get through to them with facts. You can't get through to them with statistics and all of that. So it's just pointless at this point. I can't.
I think it's really draining to like put energy into it. Like, as some people know, I'm very outspoken and I like people need to be called out. But I've just reached the point where I'm like, what's the point? They don't care. They don't want to learn. If they wanted to be educated on coronavirus matters, then they would be. But they don't want to be. They want to remain in ignorance. So I'm over it. In the words of Taylor Swift, I would like to distance myself from this narrative.
Iconic. I love it.
Exactly. But
if you trace a snippet from this podcast, it has to be what you just said.
Yes.
That was excellent.
100%. But onto a lighter note.
Yes,
I
please.
thought that we could take a trip down memory lane because
Ooh.
we are like relatively new-ish friends. I mean, not really, but like...
It doesn't feel like it, but...
it doesn't feel like it, but like we didn't grow up together.
No, we did not.
But so I was thinking, how would you describe yourself as a child? Or no, a better question is, if we think of like nature versus nurture, if you obviously can't remember what you were like as a little kid, but do you think that the person you are today, you were always going to become that person no matter what? Or do you feel like your environment and peers and things influenced you more than nature?
That's a really good question. because I definitely think that your environment and your social groups definitely influence your path. But if I look back, I've been put in situations where, like a sliding doors moment where
Yes.
your
Yep.
life could have completely changed if you made a certain decision.
Totally.
I think that what helped me choose the right path in those times is my upbringing and my morals and my values. And I think that, yeah, to an extent, my social surroundings could have influenced that path, but I think my roots pushed me
Mm.
always the way that I would have gone, if that makes sense.
It does make sense. But do you think I think that's probably like an Italian thing, would you say?
Um,
I don't mean that in a racist way
no,
either.
I know you don't. I know you
I
don't.
just mean that I feel like maybe it's a stereotype, but I would say generally Italians have strong family bonds.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. No, I agree with you there. Um, I don't really know. I know that I definitely take after my mum in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's definitely, this is very tough.
It's a
I
deep
really don't know.
question.
This is a deep question, and I don't know how to articulate what I'm trying to say.
No, I get what you mean. But for instance, if I think about myself, it's like I I feel I feel like I was always going to be this person.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, would you agree with that about me?
I agree with that about you. I can't see you being any other way than what you are.
Everyone I asked that to, they're like, "Oh yeah, you were always going to be this
Yeah,
person." And then like
exactly.
when I asked my parents, they're like "Oh, you've always been this way ever since you were a kid."
Yeah.
Like I remember they told me a story where I where I think we were playing a game. We were playing like cricket or something on the beach with like random kids
Mm.
when I was like a really little kid, and I I don't remember this, but my parents were like, "Oh yeah, so yeah, you just got really bored of the game, so you just took the cricket ball and you threw it in the ocean." And I was
That
like,
is, if that doesn't sum you up to a T,
it's just
like
like
that's
I was like,
Charlie Ring.
"Yep, that sounds like me. If I'm
Yep,
bored of something, everyone else has to be bored of it too."
exactly.
And it's like, and also, oh, I wish I had the photo, but I don't think you know this about me, but I mean, obviously, you know that I was born in Echuca and I lived there for like,
Yes.
I lived there like up until prep and then I started prep in Melbourne. But
Yeah.
when I lived in Echuca, my my dad worked and my mum like stayed at home and had me.
Yeah.
And so obviously my mother had a lot of spare time on her hands and she entered me in Echuca's cutest baby contest.
Oh my
And
goodness.
do you want to know what place I came?
I think you would have came first.
I came first. And I was like, that alone tells you everything about me.
100%. You're still the cutest, so
No,
I
that's
think
not
that
true. I mean in the sense of like I think that I'm like I
a
have
winner,
a what?
a winner.
Oh, I thought you said some type of Italian swear word. I was like, excuse me. Well, a winner, I guess, but I just have like an inflated sense of self, I guess. I wish that I had the photo. It's me sitting on an old suitcase. And I'm not gonna lie,
Oh, how cute.
I have to
Were they
find
like
it.
were they professional photos or did your mum
Professional
just like
in a studio, yeah.
amazing?
So
You
I
have
think
to find those photos. I would love to see.
I know.
Did you
But
get
like
like a sash that says like number one cutest baby?
I actually don't know. I don't think so. I think I was just in a newspaper or something.
Oh,
But
celebrity
and
status.
I know, right? And then I also think about like I'm saying that I don't want to talk about myself the whole time, but I'm saying this for you to think about moments like this
Yeah,
about your life. And
yeah.
also, I think I told you how I had articles published in the Herald Sun. Didn't I? Did I tell you that?
I don't think so.
So
About what?
I had like 3 different articles published. But in the
As
Herald,
in,
not, no, no, just wait. The Herald Sun, I don't know if they still have it, but they used to have a kids section where you could
mm,
write things in and they would publish it. And I wrote in like 3 different times. I wrote in about when Black Saturday happened. I don't know.
yeah.
I wrote about that even though it didn't personally affect me. I don't know why I have it. I have them like, I can see the articles right now. And I wrote about my trip when I went to France. No, yes, when I went to France on a school trip in high school, I wrote that and they
Yeah.
published that. And just stuff like that. And now, because I've totally forgot about it. And then my grandma, like, she kept all of them and gave them to me. And I was
That's
like,
so sweet.
yeah, I was like, I guess that as well kind of indicates my
That,
personality.
yeah, definitely. Yeah.
But do you have things like, do you have moments where you can think of in your life that you're like, that's like really describes who I am as a person now?
That's so. I have a terrible memory of my childhood. Like, I just don't remember many key moments. I reckon this is like a question I need to ask my parents and be like, were there any times that, as a child, that now you look at me and you're like, yeah, she's
Yeah.
exactly the same. Like, she was always going to be this person.
Yeah,
Um,
you should ask. But I feel like I remember you
I think
telling
I was.
me, no, what?
I was just gonna say, I think I've always had an opinion on everything,
Yeah, of course.
and I've probably always thought I was right.
That's why we get along because we both feel that way about ourselves. But I feel like I remember you telling me a story about primary
Yeah,
school or high school where
yeah.
I don't remember. I'm not going to say exactly what you did, but do you remember what I'm talking about?
No, can you give me a bit more?
You did something bad?
Something bad.
Or not bad, but did you get into a fight with someone?
Verbal? I didn't.
I think so.
I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, hold on. There's one. No, I don't think I know exactly what you're talking
But
about.
did you have like fights with people?
I did, but when I had fights, it was always um I always came ready with like ammunition. Like, I knew what I was going to say. I had it planned out, and I knew that, okay, if they say this, I've got an argument against that. So that's very much like me now.
Yes, that
Like,
is very like you.
I come ready with
Got to come with
my
the receipts always.
100%. But I don't know, I've never really been one for confrontation, I don't think.
No,
Like,
you're not.
I don't enjoy it. I don't like it. But yeah.
You will
I don't know
if
what
you have
story
to.
you're talking about, Charlie.
I feel like I remember you telling me that you got into an argument with someone in high school and it became physical. Was that you?
No, never.
I was gonna say I can't imagine that. I can't remember who it was.
No, I think you got the wrong person. I don't think I've ever been in a physical fight, except with my brother. That's about it.
I mean, yeah, true, haven't we all? But
Yeah.
I was also gonna ask, do you consider yourself competitive?
Yes, absolutely.
But so you did sport in
Yes.
primary school and high school?
Yes.
What did you do in primary school?
Well, I used to probably participate in like every sport there was.
Oh,
I did t-ball, basketball, netball. I even did soccer.
wow, you go, girl. And in
I
high
did
school,
all of the athletics events. I used to do cross country. I
of
was,
course you did.
you know how people always say Do you remember that person in primary school where, it would just be like a warm-up session in sport
You
and
take
they
it
would be
seriously.
like running laps around everyone, taking it seriously? That was me. And
I
my
bet.
friends used to always give me shit for it. They used to always be like, oh, you're just being competitive again. That was me.
But like,
I
what about
always,
in
I
high
just,
school?
I
Did
love
you
to
do
win.
sport?
In high school, yeah. So kind of the same thing. I did like everything that I could do.
My God, I feel like you're like a basketball person
Yeah. Yeah.
because you
But
used to
then
play
I always
basketball.
thought that, like, I went through a phase where I was like, well, I play basketball outside of school, so I need like a new challenge. And so I
True.
went out and played, like, purposely played different sports in high school just to, you know,
That's good. Good for you. The only sport I did outside of school was tennis, which I
okay.
which I played for years. But inside school, I mean, I did. I was going to say I did PE. Everyone does PE. Um,
Everyone, it's forced. Yep.
yes, but I didn't really do. I'm trying to think. Oh, we had to do. I don't know why I chose to do this, but we did like rugby clinics. Did you have to
Okay.
do those?
I don't
And we went to, Parade College.
Yes, yes, yes.
We would go there and play like what's it called? Like tag rugby where you pull the thing on someone's
Oh, but
back.
you pull the things out of them. Yeah.
Yes, we would play that and
That's so bad.
I would just be like, why am I here? I'm not good at sport. I don't know if people at home, I don't know if you've noticed, I'm not very athletic. So I was like why am I think I just did it for the social aspect because we would just like sit
Okay.
around and like talk. But
Yeah.
yeah, the only sport I really liked was tennis. And oh my God, the stories I have about tennis.
As in, did you get into fights with people?
Um, not physical arguments,
Verbal?
of
Yes.
course. Have you met me?
Of course.
Um,
Yes,
but
exactly.
I just, there was always drama, and I didn't cause it. It just happened around, around me.
I love how you say that. I feel like you always say that to me. You're like, I didn't cause it, but I just found myself in it. Like,
It just
always,
happens
you
around
would
me,
come
and
to
I'm
me and be
just,
like, oh my God, I just witnessed this. And I'm like, how did you even like get into that? And you're like, I don't know. Drama just follows me.
it really does. But like one time, I was on a team with. I feel bad for this kid, but this was like primary school going into high school, I think maybe. Um,
Okay.
and no, I think it must have been like year 7 or 8 actually. But I played on a tennis team with this kid who was a twin, and his
Mm-hmm.
identical twin. So this kid that I played with was like short and really skinny, and his
Yeah.
identical twin was like 5 inches taller than him, and like
Okay.
built like a tank, like so muscular. And
Yeah.
like I could tell that this kid like felt awful about
Mm-hmm.
himself because of the way that his twin brother looked, and like his twin brother also played tennis and he was amazing at tennis. And did you hear that?
No.
Oh, hang on. Sorry, there was a loud sound. Um, but so
Yeah.
every single time we there was like 5 of us or 6 of us on the team, and like every time we played at like tennis, like on the weekends, like for whatever, like competitively, whatever, it
Yeah.
was always like mixed. So we would always play with like different doubles with different people every time. Every
Mm-hmm.
single time one of us was paired with this kid, we were like, oh, can I just go home?
No.
Because he would freak out if he made any type of mistake. If he like
Oh, really?
if he faltered like once, he would smash
Yeah.
his racket and cry. And I was
Okay.
like,
So
there are a lot
relate.
of problems happening because of the twin brother. It's like he
Okay.
feels terrible about it. And I was like, I don't know how to help him. And one time I was playing with him, and obviously all the parents and stuff would watch while we play.
Yeah.
And I think he double faulted, and he like smashed the racket into the ground, and
Oh my
literally just sat on the tennis court and cried. And
Oh my God.
I'm just standing there looking at our competitors on the other side. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what to do.
This is
And then
really awkward.
like his mum would have to come in and be like, oh, it's okay. Like, just keep going. Just keep going. But it would happen every time.
Shit, okay.
And I'm like, maybe some kids just aren't built for sport at a young age.
Yeah.
If you
I
can't
know.
handle competitive stuff like that, maybe just don't do it. I
Maybe
don't
just don't. Or maybe,
know.
yeah, maybe he would be better in a team sport where like not as much pressure relies on him. You know how some people are suited
Yes.
to like individual sports and some people are suited to team.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like
Yeah,
I'm more of an individual.
yeah. I feel like you would be too.
But I remember like I was thinking about this today. It's funny because now I am very competitive.
Yeah.
But when I was younger and like when I played tennis, I wasn't competitive at all. Like I wouldn't even
Oh,
run.
really?
And
Okay.
I remember one time my mum was like watching me play, and
Hmm.
we had we were like switching sides to go like the
Yeah.
other side of the court. And as I was like walking past, my mum like said through the fence, she was like, if you don't run for the ball, I'm gonna kill you. And I was just like,
Oh my
well, I don't care. I don't really care. I don't care
Yeah,
if I
what do
win.
you want from me?
I was like,
Yeah.
what do you want? Like, and
Yeah.
it's not that she wanted me to win. It's that she was embarrassed. That the other,
Because it's
that,
a reflection on her.
yeah, all the other parents there are like, Charlie, why
Whose
isn't he running? whose kid is
whose kid
that?
is that?
Yes. And then, and you know what I think that is? It's because if I don't think that something is like important, or if I
Yeah,
don't care about winning, then I just don't, like, I'm doing it for fun. I don't care.
exactly.
But
Yeah,
now it's like, if I play a board game with someone, I
yeah.
want to destroy them.
I want to, yeah, exactly. But I don't think it's not because you weren't competitive back then. It comes down to that it wasn't something you were passionate about. Whereas like
Yeah,
board games and all of that stuff,
very
that's
true.
your thing. Yeah.
Very true. And it's just interesting, like, I feel like other types of like career fields are obviously, like, media industry is very competitive, but it's
Yeah.
competitive in a different way. Like, I don't really think that, like, in media, you can't really like compare two people's work
Yeah.
on if they're about two different things. And it's like, whereas I feel like with law or something, you can compare two different cases and be like, this is what they did wrong. Where it's like media, you can't
Yeah.
really do that. It's subjective,
Yeah, not really. Yeah. Yeah,
which is
definitely.
sometimes like not annoying, but like I remember at uni, if we had to like I remember I think we talked about
Mm.
this last time, our Me Too thing, our project we did on Me Too.
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
I
Yes,
remember
yes.
how that individual woman, uh, like, she gave us a really bad mark, and I was just
She
like,
gave us a terrible mark.
terrible. And then I'm not going to explain what happened after that. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Of course I do.
But but I was just like, well, but she didn't say what was wrong with it.
Yeah,
And I was like, I want to know what the problem is so I don't do it
exactly.
again. And it's like, they sometimes in the media industry, if you're doing something creative, people either like it or they don't, and it's hard
Yeah.
for them to actually pinpoint what the problem is, which is annoying.
Yeah, exactly. And that reminds me, I think it was that same teacher
Hmm.
who we shall not name.
Hmm.
Was she the one who at the start of the class she would be like, everyone has to come in with a news story? Do you remember when
Yep.
she roasted me and told me that mine wasn't news?
She did that
And
often, yes.
she did that often, exactly. And I'm thinking, well, you know what? It's actually very subjective because what's news
Completely.
to me might not feel like news to you, but
Yeah,
it is to
totally.
me. So you can't really tell me that it's not news and that I'm wrong. And
Yeah.
I remember going home and I was fuming. I was like, that bitch told me my news wasn't news. It was news.
And she didn't want celebrity news either, which is like,
Exactly.
well,
And I think that's what mine was.
yeah. And it's like, that is news though.
Exactly.
Like,
It was something, I think I remember it. It was something about Carl Stefanovic said something on
oh,
air that was, I don't know, a
sexist or
bit,
something?
something like that. And
Yeah.
then there were like repercussions and blah, blah, blah. Like, how is that not news just because it's a celebrity?
Yeah, I don't get that. Do you know what's funny about that class is that, like, when I talk to Shruti, we talk about, I'm not going to say, we talk about what happened, you know? And she's always like, it's like iconic that we did that. I'm just like, I'm just like, yeah, it is. Can't really put it on my resume, but,
But
but
hey,
maybe
oh,
I'll tell the story one day when I get a stable career and like they won't fire me.
I think we need to tell the story at some point.
We really, really, really do. My God. Um,
Oh,
I
good
was gonna
times.
say about sport. Is that how you hurt? Is that how you tore your ACL?
Yes, but that wasn't school sport. That was like competitive outside of school.
Oh, tell that
Yeah.
story. How did that happen?
Um. So, I played basketball for Whittlesea Pacers, if anyone knows who they are,
Oh,
and I played in the youth league team, and this was like my first season where like I was made captain. It was going to be a big year for me. I'd just come off at like a really good previous season, and then you have practice matches before the season, and
against
everyone like
other teams.
against another team, but the whole it was like a club day, so the whole club, all the parents, everyone from every age group come and watch, right?
Oh,
This
right.
practice match. It's like the initiation into the team,
Yeah.
and literally, like I think it was 10 minutes into the game,
Oh God.
I was just running, and I went to change direction, and I heard a big pop, and I was just on the ground, and I was like, oh, I knew straight away that it wasn't good. And then I was just like laying there for like 5 minutes until someone came and got me off
Were
the
you
court.
crying?
Yeah, I was crying. I think I was more in shock because
I
I
can
was just a bit
imagine.
confused at what happened. And then yeah, they called an ambulance, and then I was off in front of the whole stadium, in front of literally everyone. I had to get wheeled off by an ambulance, and it was
Oh my
fucking
God.
embarrassing.
Did you have surgery? Yeah.
Yeah, I did. I had a knee reconstruction.
A knee reconstruction.
Yes.
Where's your ACL? Isn't that like the back of your?
No,
Or am
so
I stupid?
it's like the main ligament that kind of connects. I don't really know actually. I should know this because I
But
mean,
obviously, it has to do with the knee.
yeah,
Clearly.
it's a ligament in the knee. And
Oh, I'm stupid.
yeah, mine like completely tore to the point where like when they did the MRI, they couldn't even like see it at all.
Oh my gosh.
Um, and so then what they do is they get a graft from your hamstring. So they take like a strand of it,
Right.
and then they like make a new one. It's really cool.
I think that I'm thinking of your Achilles tendon, which
You
is like,
are thinking of that?
yeah.
Yes. That would be so painful.
Oh
Yuck.
God, yeah, no. But
Like
is
I
that
think
the only surgery that you've ever had?
Um,
And I'm not talking plastic.
all natural. um, oh, just my wisdom teeth, and that was it.
True, true.
What
Wait,
about you?
when did you have your wisdom teeth out?
Oh, that was ages ago. Probably like 6 years ago.
Because I have mine coming in.
Are you gonna get them taken out?
Okay, well,
Okay,
this is
tell
this
me.
there's always a story.
Yeah.
Before I went to Spain, I went to the dentist, right?
Yes.
And she was like, she like gave me fillings or whatever. And she
Okay.
was like, oh, I can see. Oh, no, I went to the dentist first. And then I said to her, I have some like pain, like in my teeth. And she was
Yeah.
like, oh, it might be your wisdom teeth. Then I got an x-ray and then I came back and she was like, yeah, you have your wisdom teeth coming in.
Okay.
And so this was like 3 weeks before I left for Spain. And she
Yeah.
goes, oh, yeah, we'll just like call the orthodontist and like, and I hadn't told her yet that I was leaving. And she was like, oh, we'll just book you in like a few weeks. And I was like, oh, about that, I'm kind of moving overseas. And she was like, oh, right. Well,
Yeah. Okay.
and then I was like, oh, it'll be fine, like, till I get back, right? And she goes, yeah, you're just gonna have to deal with the bad pain. And
Yeah.
I was like, are you joking? And she goes, no, it's probably gonna hurt a lot. So unless you like go to a dentist over there and fix it. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that.
Mm, maybe
And
not.
then and then so it didn't hurt at all, really, while I
Okay.
was
Well,
in
that's good.
Spain, which
Yeah.
I was really worried about. I was like, oh my God, if it starts to hurt, I don't know what I'm gonna do. And
Yeah. Of
then
course, that would be awful.
yeah, and then I get back here and my wisdom tooth is like fully, it's like fully
Out.
grown, it's fully out, yes.
And you didn't really get any pain.
No. There was pain
Is it
like,
just one of them
oh,
that's come through?
just one of them, but I can feel another
Okay.
one, but it's really crooked. It's not like, what's the word? Like compacted. It's not compacted. It's just kind of off center. And it doesn't hurt, but maybe this story's gross, but I'm going to tell it anyway. Um
Oh no. Okay.
like a few weeks ago, I was eating something.
Yeah.
I was eating I was eating
I'm already feeling uncomfortable. Yeah.
I was eating nachos with jalapenos, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm chewing and whatever, and I get I like finish eating it or whatever, and then
Mm.
I'm like, oh my God, that jalapeno in my teeth is really annoying. And then I start like I start like picking at it, and I'm like, oh my God, like it just won't come out. So I am picking at it with my finger, pull my finger out, covered in blood.
Oh my god. Yuck.
And I'm like,
Yuck.
I'm like, why is the jalapeno making my teeth bleed? So then I go into the bathroom, not a jalapeno, it was just the skin of the tooth.
Oh my god. Yuck. I hate anything like this makes me so ill.
but
Especially
so but so then it just bled for one day, and then now like the tooth is like fully grown in, and it doesn't hurt, which is
that's
weird.
traumatic. I'm surprised it didn't hurt you. See, I have just heard stories about what they feel like when they come through, and apparently it's super, super painful. But I got mine out before they even came through, so I don't know that feeling.
Yeah, right. But did you have to like fully go under? Yeah.
Yeah, because they hadn't come out yet, so it wasn't just like pulling the tooth out.
Yeah, right. Were you like crazy after it?
No, I
I feel
don't.
like a lot of
I
people
was.
say that they aren't. They're just like, no, it's
Yeah,
fine.
I feel like I see so many videos of people being, really stupid afterwards, and it's always in America, but I never see it
Yeah.
happening to people here. So I don't know
Maybe it's a
what the
different
hell they're
type
doing
of
right there.
drug or something. But it
No,
is
I don't know.
interesting how different people react. Like
Yeah.
in high school, one of my friends, she had hers out, didn't come to school for a week. She was like, the pain is so bad. After the surgery, the pain was bad. And
Yeah.
then I have another friend in high school who had his out, came to school the next day. And he was like, yeah, no,
Yeah.
it didn't hurt at all. I'm like, it's just interesting how different people react.
100%. Yeah. And that's like it can be people's pain tolerances, but
Yeah.
I think it depends on your surgeon too.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Like, I don't know. I feel like some can be super rough and
Yeah, completely. But
just yeah.
what was my point? My point was I have never really had an injury. I've never really
Oh,
been injured ever
well, probably because
because
did
I
you
don't play
play much
sport.
sport?
No, of course not.
Like that's probably a good correlation, not playing a sport and not getting injured.
Yeah. But it's like I've never broken a bone. I've never like, but I think that the universe makes up for that in other ways because I've had like 10 surgeries on my ears. So that's probably,
On your ears.
yes, you know this.
Oh, I do know this. Yeah.
Not
It
my
just
inner ear, not my outer
yeah,
ear.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I do have hearing issues, as we know.
We know because you speak so loud. Yeah.
Yes, but I think I've told you what the surgeon said to me
No,
last time.
I think remind me, please.
Well, so I have this specialist doctor who I always used to go to because I used to get ear infections like a lot, and
Oh,
I
wow.
would get grommets, which is where they have to cut open the eardrum and they put a little thing behind it that like soaks up fluid,
Oh God.
and then
Okay.
they sew the eardrum back up, and then the grommets fall out like naturally. Um,
Wow.
but so I had that like 6 times, and a few
Holy
like the
crap.
last time, not the last time, like a few years ago, I saw him, and he was like, because I always have like a buildup of fluid behind my eardrums,
Okay.
like
Yeah.
all the time, and last I went to see him for it, and he was like, oh, you're a bit old for grommets now, so I'm just gonna give you like this medication to fix it. And I was like, oh, okay. And he goes, yeah, I think if we had to do another surgery on your ears, you should probably start learning sign language. Have I
What?
never told you that? That's what he said.
I don't know if you've told me this, but I
I
don't
was like,
know.
excuse me?
That's a very scary thing to hear.
I know. And he was like, yeah, you have like, he was like, you have some of the most intense scar tissue on your eardrums that I've ever seen.
What?
Yeah. And I was like, oh, and he goes, yeah, if we have to like cut that open, like it's not going to be good.
What the?
Yeah. So then now,
That's a very, very like big thing to tell someone at your age.
I know. And I was like young when he said that. But so I've
Yeah.
had, and he also said, he was like, if I get a really bad cold, it like automatically gives me an ear infection. Maybe that's common with people. I don't know.
No, that's not common, I don't think.
Yeah, he
I
was
don't
like,
think for general colds that's common.
yeah, your immune system like will just be like, yeah, just give him an ear infection. Um, but when I
Oh,
was in Spain, I had like a really, really bad ear infection. And I was like, well, I don't know what I'm supposed to do for this. And then
yeah.
I went to the pharmacist and I was just like, um, what did I say? I always start with hablas inglés because I'm like, please speak English so I don't have to
Please
like,
speak English, just make my life easier.
yeah,
Yeah.
just make my life easier. Once again, very Anglo-Saxon like centric way of thinking. Um, and then I was just like, tengo una infección de oído. And
Oh.
she was like, huh? And then I was just like, and she was like, ah, and then she like gave me these eardrops. So that helped. And then the next, I didn't go to school, I think, for a few days. And then
Yeah.
I went back to school and I was speaking to one of the teachers and I was like, yeah, I was kind of proud of myself. I spoke to the pharmacist in Spanish and I was like, tengo una infección de oído. And no, I was like, I was infección de odio. And she started laughing. And
Oh no.
I was like, why are you laughing? And she was like, she was like,
Panic.
she was like, were you trying to say you have an ear infection? And I was like, isn't that what I said? And she goes, no, you said that you have an infection of hate.
Oh my God.
Because odio is hate and oído is ear. And I was
Oh,
like,
shit.
I was like, oh, that's why the woman was like, what?
Like, sorry, I don't understand. That's amazing.
That made me laugh so much.
I love stories like that. Like when I went overseas with my family, this was my brother's first time, and I'd already been twice before that.
Mm-hmm.
And like he knows a little bit, but we had so many experiences. Like, for example, on our first day in Milan,
Mm-hmm.
we walk into a place and he says, what did he say? It was like, by the way, it was like 8 a.m. and we're going to get like just a coffee and some breakfast. And he's like, buonasera, and which is good night. And the lady like at the front who was greeting us like was pissing herself laughing. She was like, oh my God, these fucking tourists, like that's it. And then he went into another place when we were getting just like a sandwich from somewhere, a roll, and he asked for it without pomeriggio, and what he meant to say was pomodoro, which is tomato,
Mm-hmm.
but pomeriggio is afternoon. So he asked for it without afternoon. And oh my God, I laughed for like days about it. It's just when things get lost in translation like that, it's so funny.
I love stuff like that. Or I think I told you like the last time here how my friend Ariane speaks Spanish, and every time we went out, I'd just be like, you just order, because I know I'm just gonna I just
I'm gonna
know that I will
somehow. It's always hard when there's words that are similar.
I know.
And they mean completely different things.
I know. And it's funny because like in my mind I'm like, couldn't she just be like odio, oído, they sound similar.
Just,
I get
exactly.
Just figure it out. And I'm like, but like no, like she shouldn't have to figure it out because they mean two separate things. Exactly. So I get
like if it was in English, we would have the same reaction because we'd be like, oh, like you probably wouldn't automatically go.
True, but also I feel like, I don't know, don't you feel like when English is their second language and they speak to you, I mean, it depends on their level of English. You can always like get what they're saying.
Oh, always. Yeah. Yeah. That's true. But that's more when it's like, I think when you're saying like completely different words, it's a bit like, but if it's 100%. Things like, you know, their tenses and stuff, you can easily, you know, work out what they're saying.
Yeah, totally. That's like when I first got to Spain, the teachers were like, oh, if you just speak like in the infinitive in Spanish and you use the wrong tense, it doesn't really matter. Like they'll understand what you mean.
They'll understand what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. We're almost finished, but I was going to ask you, have you seen Parasite?
No, I don't think so.
Bro, but you know what, the Korean movie? You know what I'm talking about?
No.
It won all these Oscars.
Is it scary?
No, it came out like last year at the Oscars. It won all these movies.
Okay.
It's this Korean movie. It's so good. And I have like heard people talk about it, and I know it won Oscars, and I was like, oh, I don't really have an interest in watching that. Every time people overhype something, I'm like, oh, I don't want to watch it.
Yeah, I don't want,
And then I watched it, and it's so good. It's about...
What's it about?
It's about this family who live in... I don't actually know. It's in South Korea somewhere, but...
Okay.
And they live in like a basement of like this building, and they're really poor, like these 4 family members. And they like somehow the son ends up tutoring this rich girl in English, and like this family lives
Yeah.
in like a massive mansion or whatever. And then he like, but they like faked his documents. Like he never went to
Okay.
university, but so eventually, the whole family cons the rich family into letting them work for them. Like the daughter becomes like the son's art teacher,
Ooh.
the dad becomes the guy's driver, the mum becomes like the maid and stuff. And
Sounds
I
interesting.
I thought that like it was just gonna be like a drama, I guess, but it was kind of funny at the same time. Like there's this one scene where the rich family goes camping, and so like the family like just chill in their house and they like mess it up and they drink and stuff, and the family comes
Yeah.
home and they all have to they hide under a table, and it's so good. And I thought that like it was just gonna be, I don't know, but then all of a sudden halfway through the movie, I don't want to spoil it because you have to watch it, but
Okay.
it gets so fucked up. Like,
Okay.
but it's kind of in a funny way, but it's also like really violent.
Okay. This sounds good. This is
It's
down my alley.
so good. You have to watch it. I was just like,
Okay.
wow, I really get why people are like talk about this movie. It's great.
What did you watch it on? Did you just stream it or is it on something?
I think it's on Netflix.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Maybe. I don't know. I'll find it. You have any movie recommendations?
Um, I haven't really seen anything lately. Um, I haven't seen anything good lately, to be honest.
Really?
I've
I've
just
been
been
watching like 2 or 3 movies every single day.
really.
Yes.
You have
And
to you have to give me some good recommendations to watch
oh,
because
I
I haven't
will.
seen a really good movie that I've been like amazing
Yeah.
since I told you about Dark Waters. I haven't seen a really good movie.
True, 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 true. But I told you how about Shudder.
Don't
But you don't
think
like
so.
horror movies, or do you? You don't.
I don't like horror, so I don't like anything that's like, especially paranormal. I just don't do paranormal stuff or
Okay.
like demon possessing dolls and weird stuff like that.
You wouldn't like Annabelle.
No.
But no, there's a horror streaming platform that I accidentally paid for an entire year of, and
Yeah.
I I accidentally paid for it because I have all these euros on my travel
Mhm.
card that I don't want to transfer because it's the conversion rate. So
Here's the
I've just been
conversion
like
rate. Yep.
paying for things with it. And
Yeah,
I
that's a good
forgot that I
idea.
paid for this with it. And then I go into the thing and I paid for a whole year. And I was like, well,
How much was it?
I'm just giving everyone the login now. So it was like $80 or something.
Okay, yeah.
But I should give you the login because there are some really good movies. Like not scary, like thriller-ish.
Yeah, I like thrillers. I love a good
Oh,
thriller.
yeah, they have heaps of them.
Okay. Yeah,
We'll give you that login.
I'll watch, what's it called again? Parasite? No.
Parasite.
I will watch it. Then the next time we podcast, I will give my review on it.
I love that. Well, everyone stay tuned for that. But
You
I'm not
too.
going to plug Jenna's social media because she hates that. But don't you? Do you hate that? I always forget with people.
I don't know. I don't remember anything, Charlie. My memory is atrocious.
Do you want to say your? No, you're private on Instagram.
I'm private anyway, so
Okay, then no,
there's
never
probably
mind.
no point.
I
I'll DM
just,
this to everyone on socials.
I just forget because I like podcast with different people. I'm like, I don't remember if they want social media out there. But anyway,
Yeah, yeah.
you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Charlie Wright, but Charlie has 2 R's in it. And you can follow my new Instagram page for this podcast at Always Right Podcast. But Jenna, thank you so much for coming back. But
Thank
we're
you
looking
for
forward
having
to your
me.
Parasite review. So until then, bye.